You've been in a coma for quite some time. Yes, I know. You would like to know how long. I'm afraid it's been 9 years.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer. The body I've lost. The comrades I've lost. Won't stop hurting.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Renegade Operative here, and I know that it's been a long time since I made continuous videos in unison with each other, but of course, I'm about ready to dive into some AAA releases, and this is one that I've personally been anticipating ever since that big troll reveal at the VGAs. You remember, ever since Kojima had that guy Joker Morgan and he's wrapped in bandages talking about this fucking game, and it was pretty hilarious how they revealed it. They had Moby Dick Studios and it was called The Phantom Pain, but later on we found out that this was actually the 5th entry in the Metal Gear series, and I am here to talk about my first impressions of what I think overall of Phantom Pain. The first thing is first, I put about roughly 60 hours into the core gameplay experience, so if you played Metal Gear over the years, the fundamentals is still pretty rewarding, but this game feels very long. It's like a slow burn. With this 60 hours in mind, I didn't even come close to scratching the surfaces of completing this game in full. That's right, folks. This is the biggest bang for your buck, definitely when it comes to content. 60 plus hours, and I'm only at 29% or 28 or something like that, but I know I'm nowhere near beating it as I'm on mission 20 something, which I gotta really check, but the full experience in total feels really good from what I played, and I like that. I like that this game has a giant bulk of replay value, and is definitely one of the biggest MGS games when it comes to how much content is seeped on the plate. Usually, MGS games start and end with a bang. Roughly about 6 to 7 hours, I believe, was the first time I played Metal Gear Solid. It wasn't really that long, but there's a lot of things here that will gloriously eat up your time. I spent a lot of time on field recon, assassinations, extraction missions that may involve rescuing some high-class S-rank soldiers to put on your squadron of grunts in a fortified zone that you control called Mother Base. The main missions also have some particular length to them, with very unique parameters set up to complete them, so it didn't feel like the same thing over and over again, unless of course I was like base hunting on my own and not really on the main mission. But on the other hand, the side ops can have a little repetition put into the mix. You can see some very hilarious moments when you go back and extract some of your old Mother Base members, and I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about if you have been playing the game. Of course, the side ops stack up, so there's never an opportunity to really miss anything that you're full-tuning in, especially if you're in the need of something like materials or soldiers. You have a lot of tools to deal with in situations. Sometimes to gain these tools, that equates to this slow burn that I was talking about earlier. You have to put in a lot of good work to ensure that your base is the best that it could be. But that doesn't just involve full-tuning in humans with the system in play. You can full-tune in a ton of things such as enemy artillery like mortars or turrets to your needs. You can full-tune in things like vehicles that you can use on your own recon missions, or you can give these exact vehicles to other people you put on the field on their own recon missions while they extract things for you. You can develop things by getting things off the field like plants for tranquilizer darts, and you can make tranquilizer sniper rifles. You can use differing minerals that can be used to build your base to greater degrees of expansion and development. There's a bit of a leveling up system, so you can earn plenty of things, but I guess that might irk some people because you just can't use GMP to gain your access to everything. Some things take time to unlock, but I will say this adds a whole level of reward and some honest grinding in the mix. Just how far you're willing to go to gain that rocket arm and enjoy one of the best weapons in modern gaming. Personally, any system implemented that adds a lot of depth and replay value to the field is a welcome addition in my eyes. Once I got the basic equipment, it didn't feel too obstructive to get missions done. Once you unlock a deeper buddy system, you can have entire outposts raided without even being there to lift so much as the sound of a finger. And dog sniff things from 50 meters out behind walls. It's pretty ridiculous what you can get your hands on so far, eh? But therein lies the fun factor, and I will also admit, with how tight the gameplay feels, whether your preference is mostly going into a base undetected, total stealth, or if you decide to turn the place into a shooting gallery, neither joint option never felt unsatisfying. Most Metal Gear games in the past really critically penalize you if you decide to go on an alert. This is not the case here. You could just run away and come back and everything will possibly be fine after time passes and the patrol goes back to their regular routine. This is a much more tighter and finely tuned beast than Ground Zeroes was, given how fluid the controls and animation corresponded back. As for performance, well, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I would say that the PS4 version has held up relatively well for me. I didn't see too many bugs in my initial playthrough of it. So far, anything game crippling hasn't come across me to my knowledge. But I am aware of the patch that they had with Quiet on particular missions. I didn't get that far yet, but I'm glad to see that it was addressed and patched. I also heard that the Steam versions run very well for what it is, so it's a good job to see that Kojima and the team took a lot into account when making this as flawlessly as he possibly could. Now, for a true first impressions video, we know that this game cannot escape criticism, and sadly, this is also the case. With Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, one of my main gripes is that the story has taken a huge backseat for the most part. Some say it isn't a big issue, but it's worth noting considering that Metal Gear Solid has always been for the most part an extremely story-driven series. To do a bit less than what is expected sort of brings down one aspect of the game. And from all reports, I think that excluding that third chapter, dubbed Chapter 3 piece, is a bit of a kick in the balls. Once I'm near the game, I'm going to criticize it as such for lacking the content provided if there isn't a true ending. And there's a bit of a lack of boss variety from what I played. So far, I'm on mission 21, as I said, and I already fought Quiet, which was easier than I thought she would be. I played hide and seek with her mostly, and then I just dropped a couple of crates on her head and it was over. I also noticed that there's a lot of these annoying ass skull members all over the place, and after getting into them and fighting them for like a few hours, they're really boring and repetitive. I hope that the bosses get better from here, because if they don't, then that will be a little on the disappointing side, but I'm going to hold out some hope until completion. I guess another thing that gets on my nerves would be, this is a big, vast, gigantic area in Afghanistan that you initially investigate, and so is the next area, Africa, but it just seems to be populated around bases, which is the main theme. You're going in and you're extracting things from bases, or you're assassinating people, or you're doing a variety of things. But when you really look at it, when you really get to Africa, you just really question, why are there no crocodiles? Why are there no snakes? Why are there nothing in these vast rainforests? I feel that a little bit of wildlife could have added some density and overall unpredictability for what they were going for. It feels like an open world just to get to point A to point B to point C on assignments. They could have used this density to their advantage to even aid the player, such as using animals to attack soldiers and outposts, similar to Far Cry 3 and the previous iteration, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. I really like that feature. It's a shame it's not seen here, and I would have liked it to be seen here. Overall, Metal Gear Solid 5 has some nigh impeccable gameplay, but is very hindered with some of the story aspects that is going on and that are unfortunately excluded to our knowledge. It just makes you think deeper in thought. What really happened there between Konami and Kojima, and was all the stuff that the actors were saying really reasonable to listen to if some of these things didn't affect the game in the process, which they said the opposite. MGS5 is still so goddamn addicting with what it has on display that I don't think you'll walk away not having a good time from it. That goes double for the stealth enthusiasts. There's always something so damn rewarding about getting S ranks or clearing a full base in total stealth, and this game is certainly an apex predator in the series and the gameplay department. It's just odd that the story and gameplay can't sync up hand to hand. And let's not give away too much. I'll save the rest for my review, but I hope you guys have enjoyed my first impressions of Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, and I hope you get a chance to play the game yourself if you haven't already. What do you think of Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain? Sound off in the comments, let me know your experiences, let me know how your time was with the game, and I will respond accordingly. But the next thing in mind is my review for Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, because I'm actually going to run back and try to beat the game now. So, this is Renegade Operative signing off. I hope you guys have enjoyed this first impression video and most of the content that I've been putting up today. Look forward to more. I'm out. Peace.